So basically, we're Team 79, and our company is called Thrive. So this is just an overview. We're going to talk to you about our story, who we are, what we do, our differentiation, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. So the first thing I want to talk about is the University of Maryland in spring of 2018. During spring football training in the spring, a freshman died during football practice. The athletic director said in a newspaper article that the staff failed to recognize that the athlete was suffering from exertional heat stroke and that the training team didn't really assess him correctly and didn't really take the prescribed medical steps to treat it. But we believe that this death could have easily been preventable. And it's often hard that a coach can tell that their athlete is sort of not feeling well, pushing themselves too hard, and during a practice, and then they can only tell once they actually pass out. So we found that coaches really valued safety and preventing their athletes' injuries, as well as their athletes pushing themselves to do their best. And then we found that athletes also really wanted to improve their performance, and they had things like this already, but they weren't easy to understand. So our mission statement is that Thrive is devoted to create a safe environment for athletes to achieve optimum performance. Our value proposition is a monitor that's not just tracking your heart rate and physical activity, but it's communicating that data in real time to the customer and user in case of an emergency. So this is sort of what our website for our product looks like. Our product is essentially like an Apple Watch type of heart rate monitor, because there are heart rate monitors like this, but it's sort of like a sports bra that you wear during practice, but it's sort of kind of bulky, and a heart rate monitor we found is a lot easier to use and assess as a wristband. So essentially it's a heart rate monitor that you would wear during practice that an athlete would wear, and it alerts you, a coach or personal trainer, in real time during that practice when your heart rate rises. So this will prevent injuries for athletes, as well as keep them from passing out, from pushing themselves too hard. In some cases this might even prevent death, like we saw at the University of Maryland, from dehydration, which is hard to detect from just looking. So we understand that everyone is not the same. So we have included a fitness test for athletes to use when talking to a wrestler here. I actually found that a lot of them have different weight classes, so they need specialized sort of assessments to be able to detect a heart rate, because obviously a heart rate that's very high for someone might not be high for another person. So there will also be data for the athletes when we talk to them about improving their performance. We provided data for them to be able to look at, and when we found out for club soccer teams that they actually didn't really understand the data as much, because it was sort of difficult to understand when it was just numbers and everything. So we sort of provided a summary for them all using advice from experts and healthcare professionals about what they can do to improve their performance and what the data means, and then use that data for games and practice to help them. So every athlete will get a monitor, and it will get a login for this website, and then the coach will also get something that will send a text to their phone.
Yeah, so pretty much these are our competitors in the field. There's Apex, Polar, and Fitbit. I know that I play soccer, and I use the Apex in the StatSport monitoring. And I know a lot of times they posted the graphs after trainings and games, and I didn't really quite understand what they were trying to explain. So the differentiation with ours is that we will have personal data summaries. So it'll provide the graph just like our other competitors did, but it will give you a further understanding of what that actually means and how that can optimize your performance. And that was one of our findings with the athletes, is they wanted something that was easy but able to help them optimize their performance. So a personal data summary is something that would allow someone to be provided the graph and the data analysis, but also be provided a summary to make that easier to help them optimize their performance. And then we also have another differentiation that allows us to have real-time alerts during training. A lot of our other competitors didn't allow one to have an alert if someone's heart rate started to increase. It was just kind of a post analysis, where with our with Thrive, you're able to have an alert set, like an example right here. So each person will have sort of an alert of a 1, 2, and 3 on a scale. So 1 is kind of just like a notification to the coach or the physical trainer, and that will allow them to understand that, hey, their heart rate is rising, but it's just something we need to be notified about. And then 2 would be, hey, like maybe we need to sit them out, let them have some water, rehydrate, and get ready, and then once they feel ready to come back in, they can come back in to train. And then 3 would be obviously like a pass out or something that needs medical attention, and they would be alerted right away and be able to provide medical attention that easily.
So this is our timeline. So we're going to start with the UNC athletic department and sort of use them as testing and test our product with each team so we can collect data and create summaries for them all and find out how to do that. And then in the next 2 years after that, we decided to expand to the triangle and really look at it with Duke and NC State and talk to them about it and get even more testing. And then we'd really like to have continuous growth to major collegiate athletic programs. So basically, how we're gonna get there is, like I said earlier, our target customers are coaches and personal trainers because they are the ones who will be utilizing this. But the athletic departments will be buying this for the coaches. So we're really gonna start out with the Carolina Athletics program, and again, test our prototype and get a lot of information and data through that, and pretty much figure out how we're gonna sell it to them.
So as Bethany kind of just said, in terms of growth and increased revenues, the more universities that we have obviously multiplies the amount of teams and athletes, whether this is a smaller market, Division 2 or 3 school, or Division 1. And this is kind of a breakdown of where the revenue would be coming from. Our costs, we can see a decrease in legal costs as we progress in the next couple of years, and a decrease in advertisements as well. Not necessarily a decrease, it's just going to remain constant because we feel that our brand will begin to speak for itself and have more name recognition. But we are going to increase research and development because as technology comes out, we want to be able to keep up with that and perfect it. And then these are just kind of some of our numbers. As you can see, the first year we're not operating at a profit, but we believe that as this grows and increases to the Triangle and to other universities, that it will be profitable. And we believe that that first year, even though we're operating in the negatives, it's worth the investment, and it's worth the time and all the money put into it.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job. A couple of folks said they really had to boogie. Go ahead and boogie. I'm a question.
Does the alert go to your phone?
Yeah, so we actually talked to coaches, and at first we sort of found that a lot of them don't have their phone on them during practice, and we thought that was an issue. But then we also talked to them, and sort of with this project, we found that they would have their phone on them if they knew that they would get an alert that would help their